So we finally got the season finale of Star Wars Ahsoka. Oh my God. I'm not even gonna front. I'm not even gonna front with you guys. You know, at the time of this recording, some of the stuff that I predicted happened, some of the stuff didn't, which gives me just more ideas, more things to kind of sit here and talk about with you guys. You know, what's that episode to me for a season finale was definitely good, definitely great. Just sitting there and watching it, bro, there was great build-up. There was, things were moving very fluid compared to like the last episode. And I think where they fell short in the last episode, they kind of picked up a little bit more of the slack. We seen Ezra build his lightsaber, and what I thought was really, really nice was Hu Yang. I said his name right this time. Hu Yang actually had a piece of Kaden's lightsaber hilt once he found out that Kaden was Ezra's, I guess you could say, master. You know, yeah, he was Ezra's master, to be honest. Got the pops right here. So I think that was a cool nod, and you can kind of still see, even through these years, that Ezra still holds Kanan in high regard still, because that is his master. Even though he's been gone for so long, he still thinks about him and everything like that. So you can really tell like Kanan really impact Ezra as just more of a Jedi, beyond a Jedi, I'm sorry, just beyond of a Jedi, just as a man into a Jedi, and it really showed. When Hu Yang knew Kaden Jarrus' real name was Caleb Doom, I thought that was like a nice tidbit for that. So seeing that he was able to kind of bridge the gap was good, and to give him a piece of Kaden that was originally his lightsaber. So we kind of have Kaden 2.0 lightsaber with Ezra wielding it. So I thought that was a nice thing. And then to kind of have Sabine and Ahsoka make amends and to now embark on this new journey, because after Rebels, we didn't really see Sabine be trained by Ahsoka, so I think for season 2 we're gonna kind of see more of a relationship. Both characters come into play. We're gonna see a lot more, you know, probably more training, a little bit more things going on that Ahsoka would want from Sabine, and Ahsoka learn from herself. Thrawn, I have to get to Thrawn. I think Thrawn in this was very calculated, very, very calculated, and having the Night Sisters there as allies, it's like what everyone kind of predicted, that he would probably hide off in Dathomir, and he was ready to go. You know, he had his Night Squad and things of that nature. So I thought that was cool. I think Elsbeth kind of being granted kind of like this high tier knighthood, you could say, for the Dathomir witches was also cool. She had like this interesting blade that was, I think should have been a little bit more explored, but you know, I think it was just a kind of combatant with Ahsoka. Lightsaber was definitely enchanted with a lot of magic, and I would like to dive into a little bit more of like some of the Night Sisters weapons in regards to that, because me personally, I just feel like with a lightsaber going up against like a normal blade that's enchanted, there has to be a little bit more lore that I would like to explore. And I'm more than likely will. You know, it really piqued my interest to see Ahsoka combating Elsbeth and to really go toe to toe with her. So that was really cool. You know, just to kind of jump back and forth on this one shot, to see Shin-Hati, I had said it in a live chat comment. I think Shin-Hati kind of lost her arm because we seen her in episode 7. She ran off, but in this last season finale, she kind of had like this cloak covering her arm while she had her other arm raising her lightsaber. So I have a feeling maybe she might have lost her arm, or maybe a hand, and they're kind of, you know, keeping that censored. Or maybe she's just kind of been wandering the wild for a while and could be injured. But I have a feeling it's gone. I just think it's gone, but it could be injured. You know, I will put that out there. It could be injured. So, you know, I really want to see her character, because we know now she's with the bandits. So it's going to be interesting how she's going to adapt with the bandits, how she's going to be going about her force training and such. We see Baylan Skoll. He's with, I know, like the father of, in the middle, I think it's like Mortis, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'll more than likely correct it during editing. But you see a statue of him and the son of the dark side that represents the dark side. We don't see the sister, but we do see the bird that represents the sister of the light, and it's obviously with Ahsoka. So I have a strong feeling that we're gonna revisit those characters in live action. I think Balin's skull will maybe more so embody the dark. Ahsoka, obviously the light, and Anakin would take his place as a father to balance him out. That would be like a really great thing. A lot of people have been speculating, would Balin be the father? Would he be the dark side? And I think he more than likely would be the dark side. He has a real strong hate for Anakin, and just pretty much the whole Skywalker lineage. So I think that would be an interesting take on that. Seeing the statue was cool. Missing the sister, however, though, I felt it was like that for a reason. Now I don't want to say what yet, because I'll probably go into a little bit more into that maybe during like another one shot, or maybe like later on during my weekly podcast once I probably rewatch the whole season and break down in a little bit more detail in my podcast for longer time, just to keep it real. So just seeing him searching for what he's looking for and seeing Mortis kind of point straight ahead, I thought was pretty interesting. So he's on his own journey, trying to find his own thing. We see, him in like this like wolf coat kind of thing, giving me like some Game of Thrones vibes. So I will say, in the time that's been spent and they've all dispersed, he went off and fought whatever is out there, and Shanhati went off and lost an arm or is injured. And so it's crazy to see, when we see season 2, how much time has progressed. We don't necessarily know. We know there is sunlight and there's nighttime, but as far as looking at it from an episode standpoint, it hasn't been nighttime. From 7 to 8, it hasn't been nighttime. So with that progressing, how much ground have they covered and what have they encountered to be that injured, to go that far and wide. So I think that's something that needs to kind of be discovered. The planet could be big, the planet could be very vast, it could be very dangerous, and maybe they've just been covering a lot of ground, surviving and thriving. We do see that Ezra does get an opportunity to go home, which was good. Chopper kind of sensed that it was like a friendly droid, probably knew it was Ezra, and then when Ezra took off his helmet, you kind of got like this son and mother moment with Ezra and Hera. In this episode for season finale, they did Hera really good, just because she didn't really have too many lines. It was just to kind of look more like a mother seeing her long lost son, and she kind of nailed that pretty good. Ezra was just glad to be home. We know now Thrawn's back in the galaxy. Ezra's back, so he's going to get ready to combat against Thrawn and probably look for any more Jedi. More than likely, everyone's been talking about it. Will Ezra train Jason? We know about this whole skeleton crew. So I think what could happen is Ezra may train him to kind of return the favor to his master, teaching his son, because his son is force sensitive. So I think that would be a great thing of passing the torch. I also said in the live chat that it's kind of crazy to have Anakin's, Count Dooku's lineage and Mace Windu's lineage from Ahsoka all the way to Qui-Gon to Ezra to Caleb to his master, Caleb's master. I believe her master was Mace Windu. So it's cool to see those two to some capacity lineage still go, and in that sense. So I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty great. Now Banosco, we still don't know who his master is. We don't know that lineage, but I'm pretty sure in season 2 they'll more than likely talk about it or shed some light to it. So that's gonna be great to see. Just the whole thing, it went smooth. It was very fluid, from the fighting to the talking to the build-up. We got it, I guess. It is what it is. We got it. Sabine being force sensitive. I felt like we didn't really need it, but I guess it called for it in that circumstance. because of the situation she was in. But it's been hinted at through the whole series about Sabine maybe being force sensitive. Now it's just like how much of a force, how much midichlorians, or how, because a lot of people, and myself included, I didn't want Sabine to have any force power, no force choke, calling on the lightsaber, or none of that. Just because it would kind of defeat her purpose and everything, but I guess for the sake of the story where it's going, that episode kind of convinced me otherwise. Now the thing to me that was kind of like, I'm gonna call bullshit is, okay, cool, she tapped into the force. We've seen it hinted, her reaching out to something, trying to pull, gravitate something, trying to open her mind to do certain things, and we've seen that definitely in this episode where they're trying to open up the gate, or the door, to get into Thrawn's ship to kind of stop him from leaving. So we kind of seen it. It was kind of like, well, she's just there. I looked at it like she's just putting her hand out just for moral support, like how they do in Dragon Ball Z. Well, in Dragon Ball Z, when they actually spirit bomb, they actually give out actual energy. So it's kind of a big. You can't really compare those two. But I kind of look at it like it was just moral support. It was really just that. But to see it played in those high stakes where she could be killed, I think, okay, that could have been called. But maybe she could have used one of her Mandalorian like gadgets, because I know she has something where she could, I think, eject something out. But maybe when it ejects and it hits something, it just shocks them. You can't really pull it back like a grappling hook. So I guess it is what it is on that, right? So it was fun. It was cool. It came. She called upon the lightsaber. It came to her. Called her. It responded to her. And she was it. One thing that I didn't like though was when Ezra wanted to get force pushed by Sabine. I felt like that right there was a little bit more. That takes a different type of training. You know what I mean? That takes like, okay, it's one thing to kind of reach out and get your lightsaber. We've seen that with Rey, who barely used the force. Now we can see with Sabine. All right, cool. Quick cop out, quick storytelling, whatever, cool. That's like, I look at that like a step one or like a baby step. But when I think of a force push to have someone go from one place to the other place and very high altitude, I feel like that's a little bit more advanced training. That isn't just like your, okay son, I'm taking the training wheels off and then I'm gonna get you this mountain bike right after you just learn how to ride a normal bike. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that there's steps to it, there's levels to it. And they kind of like miss those steps. So now in season 2, she's gonna have to work twice as hard. We know she's been training, she's been doing this, she's been doing that, but we haven't really been seeing her push beyond that training. We've seen it in Rebels, we've seen it in the Clone Wars, we've watched it in Return of the Jedi, The Empire Strikes Back, a lot of rigorous training that a lot of the Jedi have to go through. And I feel like Sabine, we haven't really explored too much of it. There's been little tidbits of her training, but as far as like a force push, I felt like that was just a little bit too much. That was just too much. That really wasn't called for. Like, come on, like, you guys could have thought of anything else but that. I feel like something else could have probably took that position. That was just too much for her. That was too much for her. Like, the woman just called a lightsaber one time. You really think she's gonna force push and force jump and do all these things? Like, listen, no. Let's keep her force ability to like a bare minimum. Make her a little bit less force, powerful and more like lightsaber combat. Like, we've seen that with Obi-Wan. So you can kind of make her like a female version of Obi-Wan and use more technique than like the actual force. I think that would be good, so she can kind of contrast into that. But that was my only like kind of like bullshit rant that I had, because it was just too much. But to see her fighting side by side with Ahsoka, with Asbeth, and kind of being stranded there, we see that there's hope, that they know now that they're meant to be there, because there is Shinhati, there is Bama School, and that was pretty much the narrative of what we got in season 1. Dark Jedi and the one that the middle that was strange. You know, Ahsoka went from Ahsoka the Grey to now Ahsoka the White. You know, she is no longer a Jedi, but you know, she still has teaching. So I think we still have to see how that's going to resolve. So I think with that being said, it was interesting. But now that we know what could come is Ahsoka rematching with Bela Skull, Sabine rematching with Shinhati, and seeing who's going to come out on top this time. Because now they're not together. I think in season 1, Sabine and Ahsoka didn't really work together. They were always doing things on their own. Now they're together, so now they're going to work together. They're going to do a lot of team attacks. They're going to uplift one another, while Bela Skull and Shinhati are separated. So they're not going to have that same relationship. So I think season 2 is going to switch both roles. You got one guy looking for power, and you got one girl who wants power, but doesn't have a master. So it's going to flip everything on its axis, where I can see Shinhati go to Ahsoka, and I can see Bela Skull becoming the dark side, or whatever. And that's going to play an interesting dynamic. We don't know when the show's going to come back. It's a given, but hopefully we could hear something by next year that it could be, you know, maybe in production, or since the WGA is done with the strike, they might start writing and go into production next year. We might see it in 2025. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I would love to see where it will go. We do get to see a ghost, force ghost of Anakin, which that was off the channel. I lost my mind because we actually got to see him. You know, not a memory, not pretty much a hologram recorder, but like him as a force ghost. But Ahsoka could feel him, but can't see him. And I was thinking to myself, maybe because it was like even in the Kenobi series, where Qui-Gon was trying to reach out to him, but Obi-Wan couldn't see him until the very end. So maybe Ahsoka has to go through a little bit more training, a little bit more whatever, to break that threshold to start to see him. Now, it needs to be explained how they're able to see it, because, you know, in Return of the Jedi, maybe Luke broke whatever threshold and he was able to see Yoda, Kenobi, and his father, you know. But hopefully it could be more explained in Ahsoka, because it wasn't really explained in the Kenobi series. And I would love to see that whole, I've been trying to reach you, I've been trying to, you know, have you see me, but you haven't seen me. So I would like to see how they would be able to deliver that. That right there to me would be great. Also, I'm also curious to see because I said it in the live chat, and I would love to see how Ahsoka will rebuild her lightsaber. Is she going to stay with one, or is she going to rebuild the one that was cut in half by Esbeth? I think the show was called I can't remember what's name. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. But I may, you know, once I rewatch the series again and I have it on my Blue Saber podcast, I'll be able to pronounce the name a little bit more perfect. But once it was cut in half, I kind of felt like, okay, you know, hopefully we could see her get another saber, and it's, you know, white, different handle, or new handles, or maybe she goes to just having one. We don't know. You know, we know she still has the ship, and that ship still contains a lot of lightsaber building and stuff like that. So maybe we might be able to see a new lightsaber hilt, because she's had those since Rebels. So years go on. So I think season 2 will be time for like a new upgrade. We've seen Sabine upgraded Ezra's lightsaber. We've seen Ezra kind of pay homage to Kaden's lightsabers, and Ahsoka's have had those lightsabers all the way up to Rebels. So I felt like it was a good nod to kind of cut one, and then to give her a reason to upgrade her lightsabers to some capacity, because I think she will be upgraded. She will be at a higher level than she was before. So I can't wait to see how that's going to go and how that's going to play. So, you know, just to kind of early, you know, wrap this one shot up, I can't wait to see what they're going to do next on Disney Plus. If we're going to get the Skeleton Crew episodes before the Ahsoka, or are we going to get Ahsoka at the same time the Skeleton Crew airs. I'm definitely going to watch Ando, because I've been hearing a lot of people been telling me Ando is definitely worth something watching, and it's really worth kind of, you know, checking out and seeing if you like it and stuff like that. So I'm definitely gonna be watching that. Probably give you my take on that as well, since it is Star Wars, and as you can see, I'm really big into it. So yeah, I think that's gonna conclude this one shot of the Ahsoka season finale, man. I can't really wait for it to come back now. All we could do is just watch, rewatch season 1, and probably do a little bit more diving in. Probably any other Star Wars news, I'll make sure to give it to you guys and let you guys know what I'm excited for, what I'm not excited for on the Star Wars front. So that's gonna be definitely be on the lookout for that. It's gonna be good. But that's gonna definitely conclude the Ahsoka series, man. We got it, we seen it. It was great. The only episode, like I said, through all the episodes, 1 through 6, great. 7 was just a little bit of not the best, but 8 really picked up where 7 had left off. So I think that was really good. I believe that was really cool, But that's gonna conclude it right here, for this KT Films one shot of Ahsoka series. It was definitely one of the greatest Star Wars shows, in my opinion, that we've gotten. I'm definitely gonna watch Andor and give you my take on that and try to compare it and let you know which one I think was better. But I'm just gonna say right now, at the time of this recording, Ahsoka, hands down, one of the best. Like I said, I got the pop Funkos, I got her books, I've watched Clone Wars. I really like the character a lot, and just seeing her develop and have her own show at her own forefront, I think was well deserved. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with the character. I can't wait to see what level she's going to reach, and also where it's gonna take her the next season. And if we're gonna get any sort of new news, I'll make sure to be the first one to let you guys know. And if not, I'll definitely let you guys know on the podcast and break it down into a little bit more segments and just kind of go off rant, tangent, whatever. So it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty great. But that's definitely going to conclude the one shot. If you guys aren't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, because I've been dropping, videos every now and then, but I'm still trying to be consistent. Still working on a few kinks in this whole thing. The month of Halloween, I dropped Jeepers Creepers 1. Be on the lookout for my take, the one shot of Jeepers Creepers 2. On my gaming channel, definitely going to be playing Batman Arkham Knight. So go ahead and hop onto the Blue Saber gaming chat. We get something cracking on there, crack a few jokes, whatever. I usually probably bring Hellboy or Nightwing or even my nephew Brad. So that's going to be cool. Also, don't forget to check me on Spotify, the Blue Saber podcast, where I'm definitely going to be tackling a whole Ahsoka season and many other topics that I'm going to be talking about during each week. Though that podcast I usually drop is every Sunday, and it's probably between we'll probably say 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's going to be cool. But and also follow me on Twitter. The link will be in the description down below, as well as Instagram. The link will be in the description down below, so you guys can follow and keep up with me on a daily basis of what it is I'm doing and what it is that I like and stuff like that. That's definitely concluded, man. It's the month of Halloween, so get ready to be spooked out and turn up for people who turn up, and just be safe out there. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care and have a happy Halloween. Peace.